Before we jump in today, I'd like to add a little bit of what this class was inspired by. So I was practicing yoga this morning, and the thought kind of came to me while I was in Shavasana of how yoga is just so refreshing for the soul. And no matter kind of what happens in our mind or outside of us throughout practice, and I'm just speaking from my own experience, that once we land in Shavasana and even when we roll out of it and come back to after our practice, it just feels like this just refreshingness within. And again, no matter how the journey is on the mat, it just is for myself and hopefully for you too, it's just this nice feeling after we practice yoga. So I'm hoping today that we can theme our practice around that as you flow throughout your practice today, no matter what comes to mind or what happens within or around you, that you just let yourself be, let yourself enjoy the ride, because yoga works on a much deeper level than just the mind. And no matter what happens throughout practice this evening, hopefully by the end of practice you'll get that weightless feeling as we find our way at the end of practice. So I just wanted to add that little note before we jumped in. Today, of course, we're going to start laying down on our mat. So if you want to find that cozy resting position, we will meet up there for our beginning meditation. And take your time, find whatever feels good. You can lay down with the limbs extended, the feet flat on the ground, just whatever feels comfy for you to rest in for the next couple of minutes. Eventually draw your eyes closed. And we'll begin to tune in to here and now. Take a couple moments and simply become aware of how you feel right now. Bring your awareness to your mind, to your head space, and simply notice how it feels. Draw your awareness to the body. Give yourself a body scan. Notice how your body feels as a whole. Just become aware. And eventually tune into your emotional well-being. Notice the emotion, the energetic state that you feel right now. And just notice, become aware, and let it be. Noting that you are perfect just as you are right now. Begin to allow the weight of your body to sink towards the ground beneath you. Rather than holding your body, allow yourself to be held. Rest the back of the head heavily towards the ground. Relax the shoulder blades. Soften the spine and back body. Relax the hips, the backs of the legs, the feet. Soften the arms down towards the ground. Just allow your body to get heavy. And find an opening feeling along the front of your body. So relax your jaw. Soften the eyes, the forehead. Almost just allowing gravity to pull and open the front of your body. Relax the heart space, the chest, the belly, the fronts of your legs, the tops of your feet. Continue to keep letting go, letting go, letting go. Allowing the ground to hold you and pull you towards it. Gently allow your awareness to track towards the feeling of the breath in your body. Begin to tune in and feel the gentle flow of every inhale and exhale within. Notice any qualities, the feeling of your breath this evening. Allow yourself to simply be with every inhale and exhale. Throughout practice this evening, we will be taking the role of the witness, of the observer. Just as we are here now, feeling the breath, we are here now, feeling the body, and we are here and now, watching our thoughts pass by. We are not the breath, we are not the body, and we are not our thoughts. We're simply here with them, experiencing them. So allow yourself to take that step back, be the witness. Detach from the thoughts, detach from the body and the breath, and simply allow yourself to experience it all. Take a couple big breaths, just refreshing the body, the mind, the soul, feeling the goodness of your inhales and exhales in the body. If you'd like to simply stay resting on your mat, feeling into the breath, by all means, feel free to stay right here. If at any point during practice you want to come back to this posture or do something totally different than the suggested flow, please feel free to do so. This is your practice tonight, so find what feels best for you. If you'd like to begin to flow with me, on your next inhale, stretch out your feet and hands in opposite directions, giving yourself a nice full body stretch. On your exhale, gently hug the knees in towards you, wrapping your arms around the legs, giving yourself a gentle hug, Apanasana. You can stay still or maybe introduce rocking side to side. Stay with the breath and the feeling in the body though. If you're rocking side to side, just notice how it feels. Maybe you drop the ears side to side, releasing the neck as well as you roll. Observe the body and simply be here now with it. We will eventually make our way to a seated posture. So your choice. You can roll over to one side and press yourself up, or simply rock up and down the length of your mat, eventually arriving in seated. Find what works for you this evening and take your time. Move to the pace that feels good for you. When you make your way to seated, we're going to start our first flow in a nice seated forward fold. So stretch those legs out ahead of you. Once you get there, press the knees down, pull the toes back towards you, and on an inhale, sit up super tall. On your next exhale, walk those hands down alongside your legs. Pause there, and on your next inhale, see if you can really pull your heart forward like you want to touch your chest to your toes. Nice long back. And then on the exhale, either stay as you are or slowly lower the elbows towards the ground. Keep pressing the knees down, pulling the toes back towards you, looking towards the toes, and simply be here to experience this fold. Relax the jaw, soften the shoulders. Feel the body in this pose. Notice any areas that are getting that good stretch right now. And find your way back to feeling the breath within. Feel the expansion of the back body on your inhales. And on your exhales, feel the body just release and melt a little deeper into the pose. Pause here for a couple breaths. And again, just let yourself be here and now. Whether there's internal or external distractions, simply be here with them. Observe, notice, become aware. Continue to find your way back to feeling the body and the breath within. One more big breath here. On your next inhale, gently walk your hands back up towards you until you're all the way to seated, and then exhale once you get there. Inhale, right foot comes in towards you, outside edge of the foot in alignment with the inside edge of your left thigh. Sit up super tall on your inhale, and then center of the chest points towards the big toe. Exhale, walk the hands down alongside your left leg. Same thing like our forward fold. On your inhale, can you really draw the heart forward? And then exhale, maybe you melt down a little deeper. Left leg is active, so that knees pressing down, toes pull back towards you. And rather than striving to touch the toes with the hands, Think of pulling the heart forward and bringing the rib cage towards the thigh. Breathe deeply here. Let go of what you think this posture should look like. We're simply in this shape to receive a stretch. So go to where the stretch feels good and where you can breathe. Feel the breath in your body. Just let yourself experience the goodness of living right now in your body. Couple more big breaths here. Be with the inhales and exhales. On your next inhale, gently walk those hands back up towards you, coming all the way to seated. Exhale, straighten your right leg out. Same thing other side. So inhale, left foot comes in towards you, outside edge of the foot in alignment with the inside edge of the thigh. Sit up super tall. Exhale, walk on down. On your next inhale, try to lengthen the spine even further, pulling the heart forward, and then exhale, stay as you are or melt a little deeper. Again, right knee presses down, toes pull back towards you, heart pulls forward. Relax those shoulders as much as possible. Maybe you give them a little shimmy, soften the jaw, maybe you shake the jaw side to side. And breathe. Feel your inhales and exhales. Again, that right leg is working as the knee and thigh press towards the mat. Simply be in your body. Feel the goodness of this stretch. If the stretch is not feeling good, come on out of it a bit. Find where this feels like a yummy stretch within. 2 more big breaths here. 1 more. Great job. On your next inhale, walk the hands back up towards you. And then exhale, straighten the leg out. Moving to Baddha Konasana next. On your next inhale, both feet come in towards you. Outside edges of the feet press towards each other, knees splay outward. So the deeper the stretches is going to be, the closer the heels are towards the pelvis. So you find where this works in your body today. Either way, feet in towards each other, opening up kind of like reading a book. Hands come to the ankles, and on your inhale, sit up super tall. On the exhale, begin to hinge forward. Nice straight back, and imagine pulling the heart forward and simply leaning forward. So we're not reaching and curving the back. Let me turn so you can see what that looks like. We're not going for that, we're going for heart forward. So only lean forward to the amount that you can keep this nice, long, extended back. Pause wherever it feels good. Low belly pulls in and up, and again, we're reaching the heart forward. That's all we're doing. Pausing where we feel that nice opening within those hip flexors and breathing into it. So again, let yourself experience this stretch. That's all we're doing. We're being here and now with our bodies. Take a couple more big breaths in this posture. 1 more full breath. Great job. On your next inhale, gently come on up to seated, and then exhale, we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So step those legs out into a V shape, extending outwards, and again, you choose how wide you want to go. Press the knees down and pull the pinky toes towards the wall behind you. So you're going to feel this external rotation of the inner thighs. Inhale, sit up as tall as you can, and we're going for gentle here. So on your exhale, simply walk those hands forward, pivoting with that nice tall back, just like we did in Baddha Konasana, until you receive that nice stretch on the inner thighs. So you decide how far forward you go. The goal is keeping the spine nice and long and the heart pulling forward. Again, breathe deeply, breathe through the stretch. Continue to point those big toes backwards. And pause for a couple breaths. Try to keep the face soft and the jaw relaxed here. Let's take 2 more big breaths. You're doing an awesome job. 1 more full breath. Great job. On your inhale, walk your hands back towards you, and exhale, find just a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. We're going to pause in this comfortable seat just for a couple breaths. Your choice if the eyes are open or closed. And just observe. Feel the body and notice what's going on within. Take a couple big breaths. Simply be the witness. Allow yourself to experience everything that's going on within and around you. And as you're here, you can simply listen to my voice or take a peek at the screen as I recap that first flow for you. So we started this flow in a nice forward fold, pressing the knees down, pulling the toes back towards us, and folding forward, focusing on pulling the heart towards the toes. From here, we moved to Janu Shirshasana on each side. So right foot came in first, found that nice fold forward, paused here, and then came on up. Again, you can hold these postures as long as you'd like. Left foot came in, same stretch other side. So Janu Shirshasana on each side. From there, we made our way to Baddha Konasana, so butterfly legs. Inside of the feet came together, knees splayed outwards, and again, we found that nice forward folding motion. After that, we made our way to the wide-legged forward fold. So we stepped the legs out, big toes pointed back behind us, knees pressed down, and we found just that slight pivot forward, so we got that nice stretch on the insides of the thighs. We found our way to a nice seated posture, again, whatever that means for you, and pause with the eyes closed, just feeling into the goodness of that sequence. So again, forward fold, Janu Shirshasana on each side, Baddha Konasana, which is butterfly legs, and then the wide-legged forward fold. So take some time, you can do all, none, or some of that. More than anything, stay connected within. I'll be here to guide your awareness, so take the next couple moments for yourself, whether you repeat that flow or simply rest. Continue to follow your breath as you flow, feeling into the inhales and the exhales, feeling into the stretches in the body. Allow yourself to simply experience the goodness of being with your body on your mat tonight. Let go of any thoughts or thinking around, quote unquote, getting it right. So whether that means getting the sequence right, getting the shape of the posture right, getting the mental awareness of heart right, let go of all of that. Just let yourself be as you are. Feel the breath in the body. Feel your body in these shapes. If any shape feels like too much, find your way out of it. Meet yourself where you're at today. For it doesn't matter how our practice goes, if you will, and all that self-judgment. What matters is that you're here right now on your mat practicing. So be easy with yourself. And again, let yourself just experience the posture. Experience the breath in your body. Experience just being with yourself. Feel into the goodness of the inhales and exhales and detach from being your body, being your breath, of the thoughts in your mind. Just let yourself experience it all, being an observer, being a witness, and taking that step back. Continue to breathe throughout whatever posture you're in, and feel the breath. Notice where your awareness lies. So if you were to ask yourself, what am I thinking about right now? What would your answer be? Is your mind here and now, feeling every inhale and exhale? Or is it elsewhere? Are you thinking about the pose, the next pose? Or are you distracted by an external sound or noise coming from a different room in your house? Just become aware of what the mind's doing. And that's it. Let go of any stories around where the mind is or where you think it should be. When you feel ready to come back to your body, simply reconnect with feeling your inhales, feeling the exhales, and letting everything else melt away. Continue to simply repeat that process. Whenever you complete your flow or the postures that you choose to be taking, find that comfortable seat, comfortable resting position to simply be in your body. To feel the breath, to notice any effects of the postures that you chose to take. Again, let yourself just feel the goodness of living in your body right now. Notice any sensations within. Feel the inhales and exhales as your body breathes. If you're still flowing, take your time. Allow yourself to move organically to shapes that your body wants to be in. This time is for you, so let yourself just do what feels good. If you'd like to move to the next flow with me, we are going to meet up in child's pose. So that's only if you feel like moving forward. If you want to move to the next sequence of postures, gently take your time and make your way tabletop position and eventually shift back to child's pose. We get there by bringing the big toes to touch, knees spread wide, and on an exhale, sinking the hips back to the heels and allowing the upper body to drape down towards the ground. You can pause with the head in the air or the forehead gently placed on the mat. Once you get there, take some big breaths. If you like to rock side to side, feel free to do so. Maybe you gently rock the head side to side, massaging the third eye, the forehead. Either way, shoulders are relaxed down the back body. We're feeling the breath within. Take some big breaths. Really feeling the back body and the area around the spine expand on the inhales. And on the exhales, feel your body melt towards the ground. Pause here for a couple moments before we begin our second flow. Continue to let go, be here in your body. Whenever your next inhale arises, gently make your way to hands and knees, tabletop position. Take your time, and on your exhale, bring the wrists directly under the shoulders and knees under the hip points. Spread those fingertips wide and press the ground away through the hands and knees. Pause here. We're going to move through spine undulations in cat-cow, and we're going to move slowly and consciously. So rather than just going through cat-cow and leading with the heart and head, we're actually going to initiate the movement from the hips and the pelvis. So pay attention. It might feel a little awkward in the body, but we're going to do some repetitions and find what works in our bodies. So on your next inhale, point your tailbone up towards the ceiling. So the booty's going to point upwards. Now as you do so, continue to follow the spine. Eventually the head will point upwards and your gaze will be up towards the sky. On your exhale, point your tailbone or pelvis down towards the ground and continue to follow all the way through the upper back. Eventually, you'll be looking towards the knees or the thighs. All right, feel free to look at me if you need to, but let's try a couple more rounds. Inhale, tailbone points up. Follow all the way to the upper body. The neck and head will follow as you look up on the inhale. Exhale, tailbone points down. Follow that ripple throughout the spine. And eventually you'll look towards the thighs. Couple more times. Inhale, tailbone points up. Ripple through the spine and you'll look up. Exhale, tailbone points down, ripple through the spine. Eventually you're looking down and pulling those shoulders up towards the ceiling. Inhale, tailbone lifts up first. Follow through the spine. Exhale, tailbone down, and again follow through the spine. Let's do one more round together. Inhale, tailbone points up. Allow that ripple to go all the way through the spine, through the head. Exhale, tailbone points down. Eventually you're looking towards the knees, thighs, or belly button. Inhale, simply make your way back to neutral. And then exhale, curl the toes under, lift the knees up, and press on back, down dog. So just notice how that felt for you. It might be a very different movement. As you're in down dog, feel free to pedal out the feet, shift the weight forward and back, side to side. Begin to work into the backs of those legs and breathe through the pose. Soften the jaw and find any organic movement that just feels good right now. So those spine undulations that we just did in cat-cow, we're gonna try again, now moving from down dog to tabletop position. So it's gonna be a little bit different, might have to take some time to train the body to move in such a manner. So to start, come into down dog, your choice if the heels are on the ground or if the knees are bent and you're pressing backwards. But we're gonna find that ripple forward. So try to bring your mind's eye all the way to the tailbone, the base of your spine. And can you point the tailbone down? So you're gonna feel like this arching in the back body like we did in cat pose. Now begin to come onto the tippy toes and ripple forward and allow the spine to follow the arch all the way until the shoulders are over the wrists in plank pose. So again, if you need to watch me, feel free to do so. On your exhale, you're simply gonna press on back to downward facing dog. So let's try that a couple times together to try to get that movement down. So tailbone tucks down, low belly in towards the spine, come up onto the tippy toes and try to find that ripple forward. So you keep pressing up the back body. Eventually shoulders are over the wrists. On your exhale, press it back. Let's do 2 more times. So exhale, tuck the tailbone down towards the ground, come to the tippy toes, inhale forward, plank pose, exhale, press it back. One more, inhale, exhale, tailbone points down, come up onto the tippy toes, ripple through the spine, coming forward, plank pose, exhale, down dog. Great job. Might take some time to get used to that. You'll have some time to explore on your own. So breathe deeply here, down dog. On your next inhale, begin to walk the hands back to the feet. So we're coming to the backs of the mat. If you need to bend the knees to get all the way back, feel free to do so. Take your time. On your next inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward. And exhale, forward fold. So we're gonna hang heavy in whatever forward fold suits your body right now. So you can play around with how deep you bend the knees. You can play around with where you place the hands. So they can be on the legs. You can wrap them around opposite elbows. Whatever feels good, they can just dangle in the air. Wherever you do go, though, relax the back of the neck completely so the crown of the head pulls towards the ground. If your eyes are open, you should be able to see the wall or whatever's behind you. If you're looking at your mat, that tells you that the back of the neck is not totally relaxed. We just want the crown of the head to dangle down. Breathe deeply. Again, if you play around with the bends of the knees, you'll notice when you have a deeper bend, the stretch will go more towards the back. If you have less of a bend, the stretch will be more in the backs of the legs. Maybe you sway side to side, bob the head up and down. Allow yourself to enjoy this inversion. Breathe deeply throughout the body. Allow gravity to decompress the spine, the blood flow to come back towards the head. We'll be here for a couple more breaths. Let yourself just be in your body and experience whatever's going on right now. Great job. If your arms are bound on an exhale, release them down. On your next inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward, and then exhale, walk those hands all the way to plank pose. Your choice if you want to move through a vinyasa or simply drop the knees down and make your way to child's pose. Find whatever works in your body and practice right now. Eventually, we'll all land in child's pose and pause here to simply feel the body. Take some big breaths here if you want to invite in cleansing breaths. In other words, inhaling through the nose and exhaling forcefully through the mouth, making a ha sound. Feel free to do so. Just let it go, let yourself rest down, and observe how you're feeling. Breathe deeply. Continue to let go, let go, let go. Allow the ground to hold your body. Allow the breath to hold your mind. As you're here, feel free to listen to my voice or take a peek up at the screen. I'll go through a recap for you if you choose to follow along with that flow again on your own. So we started this flow in cat-cow. So we came up to tabletop position, hands and knees. And this cat-cow was a little bit different because we were initiating the movement from the hips and the spine. So just as a gentle recap, we started by pointing the tailbone down. So when we point the tailbone down, it begins to arch the body. So we found our way, we followed that ripple, and eventually looked down towards the knees and the thighs. The opposite way, we pointed the tailbone up towards the ceiling. When we do that, the body will eventually point the head and the gaze upwards. So we followed that, really bringing our mind's eye to the pelvis and initiating that up and down movement from there. From there, we found our way to downward facing dog. So we pressed our weight on back, took some time to really work the posture, and tried to find that same spine undulation coming into plank pose. So generally, the tailbone is slightly pointing upward in this posture. So as we found the spine undulation, we pointed that tailbone down, and then came on forward to the tippy toes and tried to make that ripple throughout the spine until our shoulders were over the wrists. And then we simply pressed on back to down dog. So again, the motion is tucking that tailbone down, low belly pulls in, coming to the tippy toes and trying to make that wave all the way to plank pose. From there, we came back to down dog. You can repeat that as many times as you'd like. Eventually came to whatever type of forward fold feels good in your body. And then once you're done in your forward fold, making your way to beautiful, gentle, restful child's pose. And you can pause there for however long you'd like. So again, just as a recap, we did the cat-cow with the undulation starting from the pelvis, the lower spine. From there, we came to down dog, tried that rippling forward to plank pose and coming back. Eventually landed in a forward fold at the backs of our mats. Hang heavy there for a little bit, and then make your way to child's pose. So again, feel free to play around with that, do all, none, or some of it. Just find how different movements feel in your body. And I'll be here to guide your awareness, as always. So find what works for you, and we'll meet up shortly. And as if you are approaching these postures that may be new movements in your body, again, rather than trying to do right and wrong and trying to figure out what it should be like, just play around in your body. Give yourself a fun, free nature to explore movements that you may or may not have ever done before. Doing this allows the mind to work in new patterns and new ways. When we are always moving in one direction, the neural connections within the body begin to just kind of be one way. Yoga allows us to move in different ways, which creates new connections between the mind and body, which in turn opens up new ways of being. So experiment, have fun, find a light, easy nature. There's no right or wrong. Just find what feels good in your body. If anything feels painful though, step on out of it. Nothing should feel painful in yoga. Move with your breath, find what feels good, and just have fun. And continue to take steps back. Take steps back, be a witness, be an observer. Let your body move itself. Let your mind think itself. Let your body breathe itself. Just be here to witness and experience it all. Let go of judgments and the stories you have around your body, around the thoughts you think, and just be here with the beautiful self that you are. Feel the inhales and exhales and allow them to just hold you in the present moment. And if at any point you want to do something other than the suggested flow, please know that this is your time. Every posture that I present to you is simply a suggestion. At the end of the day, this is time for you to be with yourself. So give your body what it needs. Honor where you want to go. Let yourself be free from restrictions or where you think you need to be. Simply follow your breath to where your body needs to go. Wherever you're at right now, where do you feel the breath in your body? Maybe it's within the rib cage, the lungs, the back, the belly, the chest, the nostrils. Navigate to the breath. Feel the inhales and the exhales. Continue to surrender the mind to the breath, just letting go. Notice how you can soften your body even further. Maybe that means relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, softening the jaw or the gaze, relaxing the fingers, the toes, softening the edges of the body and the mind. When we physically soften the body, our mind, the brain follows. We allow ourselves to relax and fully come to the present moment. How can you soften within and around you, melting into the goodness of here and now? Continue to feel the breath, to feel the body, and to be a witness, taking a step back, detaching from being the thinker, or being the feeler, just letting yourself take it all in. Whenever you do complete the flow or whatever set of postures you choose to take some time to either rest in child's pose, find a comfortable resting position, and observe. Notice how you feel right now. Notice any themes to your practice so far. And again, we're just noticing. We're not adding on analyzing or judgment. We're just becoming aware and letting go. So become aware, release, observe, notice, and let go. Maybe you take some big cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. For our final flow of class, we will eventually meet up sitting on our heels. So take your time. If there's any final stretches or postures, or if you just want to do your own thing from here on out, feel free to do so. If you do want to move with me through some gentle back bends, we will meet up simply sitting back on the heels. If this feels like too much for you, you can totally add padding, a pillow, anything between the calves and the thighs so you're a little bit more propped up and it's not a deep of a stretch on the knees. Take a moment or two to find your way here, and we'll eventually meet up in this posture. Tonight we're going to move through some very gentle back bends in Ustrasana, camel pose. The first of which I'd like to invite you to simply bring your hands down by your sides. So fingertips can point forward to the side or back. Just find what feels natural. You might even switch it as you come into the posture. You can also put your hands on blocks if you need them a little bit higher. When your next inhale arises, you're going to lean back and then see if you can lift the hips up off the heels. And it might just be a subtle lift. It might just be the motion of lifting and the hips will still sit back. But this is a very gentle version of Ustrasana. You can allow the head to come back or keep the chin pulling in towards the chest. Pause here and breathe for a couple big breaths, really squeezing the glutes and trying to press those hips up towards the ceiling. Let's take about 2 more big breaths. 1 more. On your exhale, set the hips back down and allow yourself to slowly come back up. Once you come to seated on the heels, take a couple big breaths. Just allow your body to neutralize. If that felt good for you and you want to do that again, feel free to do so. If you want to move to our next posture, we're going to come on up and bring the hips over the knees. And step those knees out so they're hips distance, so there will be just a slight gap between your knees. And then you can either curl the toes under behind you or keep the tops of the feet flat on the ground. From here, bring the palms to touch at heart center. We're going to do a little bit of a strength move with the thighs. So again, find where this works in your body. Inhale, pull the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and then imagining from the top of your head to your knees that you're one stiff board. So on your exhale, begin to lean back, pausing at a point that you can hold and breathe. So it might just be a subtle lean back, it might be a significant one, but continue to energize and squeeze the knees towards each other like you're holding a block between your thighs. Low belly pulls in and up, and your gaze is just slightly up towards the ceiling. Let's take 2 more big breaths. Thighs are really working here. 1 more big breath. Inhale, come on back up, and exhale. Great job. We're going to move through to Ustrasana next. Let's bring those toes to curl under behind as if you haven't yet. Hands come to the hips. On your next inhale, bring the crown of the head up towards the ceiling again. And this time, we're going to keep those hips stacked over the knees. So on the exhale, elbows pull towards each other along the back body, and then lean the heart space back. So again, hips stay over the knees and simply lean the heart back. Pause here for a couple breaths. Keep the chin pulling in towards the chest like you're holding a grapefruit between the chin and the neck. 2 more big breaths. 1 more. Inhale, gently come on up. And exhale, uncurl the toes, sit back onto the heels. So I'm going to leave it up to you if you want to do one more version of that full camel pose, or if you just want to simply rest for the next couple moments. I'm going to rest, but if you want to do another one, feel free to do so. If you are simply resting, pull the low belly in towards the spine. When you do so, you'll feel a subtle opening in the low back. And simply breathe into it. Couple of big breaths here. Just allow the head, the body to neutralize. So this is our final flow of class. I'm going to recap for you briefly, and then you can decide if you want to move on with that or do anything else. If you are going one more time throughout this flow, we started this posture with a more restorative, relaxed version of camel pose. We stayed sitting back on the heels and brought the hands by our sides. On an inhale, we tried to lift the hips up off the heels and pull those hips up towards the ceiling. Maybe you drop the head back. Pause here for however long you'd like. When you're ready on an exhale, set those hips down and come on out of it. We rested for a couple moments, just allowing the back, the body to neutralize. And then from here, we brought those hips up over the knees. Palms touched at heart center. So now we worked into the thighs a little bit more. On an exhale, we leaned on back, imagining like we were a plank from the top of the head to the knees. Held in that lean back position, squeeze those knees towards each other. Again, for however long you'd like. Made our way back up, pause, and then work to camel pose. So hands on those hips, elbows squeezed in towards each other along the back body. This time, hips stayed over the knees. Inhale to lift up, and exhale to peel that heart open as we leaned back. You could do that 1, 2, how many times you'd like. Eventually, we sat back onto the heels, low belly pulled into the spine, relaxed, and then whenever you're done with your back bends, you'll make your way to a child's pose. So only once you're done with the back bends will you fold forward. Pause here to really find that nice release in the low back. Maybe you even swing those legs forward and come into a forward fold. So again, it was that relaxed camel Ustrasana pose with the hands on the ground. We did the thigh leaning back strength pose, and then camel pose 1 or 2 times, whatever feels good for you tonight. So continue to flow, find what feels good. If you're done with back bends and you just want to rest, again, honor your body, honor your practice tonight. I'm here for you either way. So find what feels good, and we'll meet up for the closing of class in a little bit. Really continue to breathe in these postures. Sometimes in back bends, we tend to clench the jaw and hold the breath. So open on up, breathe deeply. Continue to be conscious, active in your body. Feel the breath and find where you can breathe in these poses. Continue to be an observer and a witness, noticing thoughts that come up throughout these postures. Any themes to the way that the mind thinks. Notice any themes and thoughts around your body. Again, we're just noticing, we're becoming aware. This is a practice of getting to know ourselves better, not judging ourselves and saying what's right or wrong, but becoming aware and simply returning home to the breath and the body. And continue to observe, to let go, to let be. Feel those inhales and exhales ripple in and out. As you approach the last couple postures of class, truly honor the fact that you are here right now. Give yourself permission to be in this moment. Maybe your mind has been any and everywhere else other than your mat right now, and that's okay. But maybe you just pause, and for a slight inhale, you just feel that inhale. Or an exhale, you just be there with it. Right now, you're practicing yoga on your mat. You're here and now in your body. Let yourself be what you are doing. Everything else can wait. Be here and now. Grant yourself permission to just experience the goodness of this moment, even if it's just for an inhale. Again, whenever you do finish all of those back bending type motions, please, please, please find your way to that child's pose with the knees close together and or even a seated forward fold with the legs extended. So find that counter motion of folding forward and bringing in space to the low back. Continue to breathe deeply and stay in your body. And if you're all done with your sequence and your flow and the postures you want to take, we will eventually meet up laying down on our backs. So take your time. If there's other postures, stretches you want to take before you meet up with me, feel free to do so. Eventually we'll meet up laying down. If you simply want to rest and make your way to Shavasana, feel free to do so. I will be guiding a couple final postures for us, so your choice where you decide to go. If you want to flow with me, on your next inhale, hug the knees in towards you, wrap your arms around the legs, Apanasana, knees to chest pose. Feel free to rock side to side. If you are rocking, continue to breathe and press the low back down towards the mat, giving yourself a little low back massage after the back bends. Just feel the body. And on your next exhale, straighten only the left leg down to the mat. Keep that right knee hugging in towards you. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, right knee comes to the left side of the body. So we're coming across the body into a twist. Arms can come to a T shape. You can rest the left hand on the outside of that right leg. Maybe you even send the gaze over the right hand. Allow yourself to just melt into this twist however it feels good for you. Breathe deeply, soften the jaw, maybe the eyes even draw closed. Feel the breath along the right side body. On your next inhale, gently bring that right leg back up to center, and then exhale, straighten the leg down to the mat. Same stretch other side, so inhale, left knee hugs in, take a breath or two here. And once you're ready, find an exhale to bring that left knee toward the right hand side. Again, arms can come out like a T shape. You can rest the right hand on the outside of that left knee. Maybe you send the gaze over the left hand, but simply find what feels good for you right now. Bring your mind's eye to the left rib cage, the left side body, and feel the breath there. And we'll pause here for a couple more breaths. Whenever you're ready, on an inhale, gently bring the left knee back up to center, and exhale, straighten the leg down to the mat. Moving to happy baby next. On your next inhale, both knees come in towards you. You can grab on the backs of the thighs. Maybe you flex the feet, lifting them up, bending the knees, grab onto the ankles or lower legs, or possibly wrap the hands around the outside edges of the feet. Wherever you go, continue to press the low back and hips down to the mat, and the knees come down towards the side bodies. Arms are super relaxed. Shoulders are super relaxed, melting towards the ground beneath you. If you feel the head, the neck, the shoulders lifting, then lower your grip on your legs. We want the upper half of the body to be neutral on the ground beneath us. Maybe you rock side to side. Breathe into the natural hip opening going on here and relax the jaw. You can stay here or maybe transition to a reclined version of Baddha Konasana, bringing the feet together, butterfly legs, knees spreading outwards. And again, you can hold on to the lower legs, maybe wrap your hands around the feet as you allow the heels to drop in towards the pelvis and press the knees forward towards the front of your room. Again, shoulders are relaxed, back of the neck is soft, and breathe here. Just enjoy the goodness of these stretches, these shapes in your body. And again, if it's hard to enjoy, find a step out. Find where you can enjoy the pose. You can stay here or eventually lower the feet in the shape that they are in, so Baddha Konasana, legs to the ground, maybe resting the hands on the insides of the thighs, on the belly, or simply down by your sides. And find whatever works in your body, whatever feels good for you. Breathe deeply and let everything else go. If you'd like to stay in this shape for Shavasana, or if there's any other stretches and shapes you'd like to take before Shavasana, now's the time. We will eventually meet up in a final resting position for Shavasana and our closing meditation, so take whatever you need before we make our way there. If you're still flowing, please take all the time that you need and only meet up when you are ready. If you've made your way into your comfy final resting position, then gently draw your eyes closed. Begin to invite in a soft and easy, a relaxed state to your mind, to your body, to the space all around and within you. Allow your body to begin to settle and melt towards the ground beneath you. Again, allowing your body to be held by the ground. Surrender the weight of your body to the ground beneath you. And begin to relax even further, starting by softening the crown of your head. Relax your forehead, soften your eyebrows, relax the space between your eyebrows. Soften the eyes, allowing them to sink back towards the skull. Relax the temples. Soften the cheekbones. Relax the jaw. Soften the lips, the teeth. Gently float the tongue down away from the roof of your mouth. Soften your ears. Relax the back of your head and the scalp. Relax the back of your neck, the sides, the front. Allow the throat to open. Melt the shoulders down towards the ground beneath you as you relax the upper arms and elbows. Soften the lower arms and the wrists. Relax the hands, the fingers. Soften the upper back, the middle back, the lower back. Relax the chest, the space around your heart, and the rib cage and belly. Soften your hips, the pelvic region. Relax the glutes, the sacrum. Soften the thighs, the backs of your upper legs. Relax your knees. Soften your lower legs, the ankles. Relax the tops of your feet, the bottoms, and allow every toe to get a little bit lighter. Notice if you're holding on anywhere else in your body and completely let go. Sink your body towards the ground, just releasing it. And allow this state to translate to your mind, relaxing the mind as though it's a muscle itself, letting it soften, letting it fade away, creating space within the head. For the next couple of moments, allow yourself to continue to relax, 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 and drift away. Only when you feel ready, gently begin to invite the awareness back in towards your body. Maybe you introduce small wiggles, the toes, the fingers, the wrists and ankles, or just gently deepen your breath. Eventually roll over to either side, pausing to rest in a fetal position. Take your time. Gently make your way all the way to a seated posture, keeping the eyes softly closed as you move. Again, moving in your own time, space, and way. And we'll eventually meet up with the eyes drawn closed and palms touching at heart center. Once you get to this posture, take a couple of moments to consciously realize how you feel. Draw your awareness to your mind and your head space. Notice how it feels. What's the first word that comes to you to describe the state of your mind? Eventually, draw your awareness towards the body and simply observe how it feels. What's the first word that comes to you to describe your body? And eventually tune into your emotional well-being. What emotion do you feel right now? Simply notice, observe, and let it be. You're perfect just as you are. Gently give yourself a smile and truly thank yourself for showing up here this evening, for dedicating your time to simply being with you and enjoying the goodness of the ride of your practice tonight. And thank you so very much for sharing your beautiful practice and energy with me and everyone else who tuned in here this evening. The light in me truly honors the light in you. Namaste.